When you open your eyes in the morning, it might feel like an ordinary act, just another day beginning, but it's not ordinary at all. To wake up is a miracle most of us take for granted. Every 24 hours, more than 150,000 people do not see the light of another day, yet you did. That fact alone is evidence that your story is still unfolding, that life still has a plan for you, and that the universe has chosen to give you another chance. The tragedy is that most people don't even pause to acknowledge this gift. They rush out of bed, already buried under the weight of bills, obligations, regrets, and the noise of the world. But if you could just stop, even for a moment, and recognize that you were given another sunrise when countless others were not, you would begin to see life differently. Breathing without machines, walking without assistance, having vision to see the sky, ears to hear the sound of life. These are treasures we have been tricked into treating as nothing. Society convinces us that joy lies in possessions, promotions, or validation from others, but the deepest joy has been within us all along. Gratitude is not some vague spiritual concept. It is the discipline of noticing what is already here. If you can breathe, you already hold a miracle in your chest. If you can stand, stretch, and move, you already carry a blessing many people pray for every single day. The greatest deception is believing that life owes us another chance tomorrow. Life owes us nothing. Every second is borrowed time, and that truth should not scare us but empower us, because if life is borrowed, then every moment is meant to be lived fully, not wasted in bitterness, not buried in excuses, not surrendered to fear. You are not defined by what happened to you yesterday. You are not the mistakes you made, the failures that embarrassed you, or the names people tried to stick on your identity. You are not the lost opportunities or the moments where you fell short. None of that is your definition unless you allow it to be. You are the author, pen in hand, facing the blank pages of today. That is the real miracle of waking up, the chance to rewrite, to redirect, to create something new out of what once felt broken. Every inhale is a whisper from life itself saying, keep going. Every heartbeat is proof that your body is fighting for you, carrying you into another opportunity to make a difference. Think about how many people in hospitals right now would give anything just to trade places with you, to step outside, to feel the wind on their face, to have the freedom of walking to their own kitchen, to hug someone they love, to taste food without restriction. You already have what many pray for. Gratitude is not about ignoring your struggles or pretending pain doesn't exist. It's about shifting your lens to see that even in difficulty, there is still abundance. When you woke up today, you received 24 blank pages to write on. How you fill them will depend not on luck, not on fate, but on the choices you make from this moment forward. The world wants you to chase more, always more. More status, more attention, more possessions, as if happiness is waiting at the end of endless accumulation. But when you truly wake up, not just physically but spiritually, you realize that happiness is not found in more. It is found in recognizing enough breath to try again, enough strength to take one more step, enough time today to move closer to who you were meant to be. That doesn't mean you shouldn't dream or build or pursue greatness. It means greatness begins not in greed but in gratitude. Without gratitude, nothing will satisfy you. With gratitude, even the smallest victories shine like treasures. When you woke up today, life whispered that your purpose is not finished. Someone needs your words, your presence, your energy. Someone will cross paths with you today and walk away lighter, encouraged, or braver because of how you showed up. That is why waking up is more than survival. It is assignment. You may feel ordinary, but there is nothing ordinary about you. Out of billions of people, there is no one with your exact fingerprints, your exact voice, your exact story. That uniqueness is not accidental. It is intentional. Waking up is the universe reminding you that your uniqueness is still required, still needed, still valuable. You have probably been through storms. Maybe the past weighed you down with betrayal, loss, or disappointments that made you question if you were enough. But if you are alive right now, you are evidence that you are stronger than what tried to destroy you. Scars are not signs of weakness. They are proof of survival. Every morning you rise, You prove resilience is inside you. Too often, people wait for a dramatic breakthrough or a perfect moment to start again. But the real new beginning happens in the smallest act of opening your eyes and deciding today will not look like yesterday. That choice alone separates those who stay stuck from those who rise. There is a temptation to live on autopilot, to move through the hours as though they are guaranteed, as though life is some endless supply of chances. But the truth is, each morning is an invitation to live differently, to step out of survival and into creation. When you wake up, you don't just rise from sleep. You rise from yesterday's limitations, from the weight of your failures, from the labels people placed on you. You rise with the option to forgive yourself, to forgive others, to cut off what drains you, and to embrace what builds you. Waking up is your reset button. You don't have to wait for a new year or a major event to begin again. You already have the chance today. And so, when you opened your eyes this morning, you received more than just another day. You received another chance to speak words of life instead of words of destruction. You received another opportunity to be kind when it's easier to be cold, to show up with courage when it would be simpler to hide, to take a step toward the dream that has been waiting in the back of your heart. That is the power of waking up. It places in your hands both possibility and responsibility. You can waste it by replaying yesterday's mistakes, or you can use it to build something that makes tomorrow brighter. So before you rush into the chaos of the world, pause, breathe. Recognize that you already hold something priceless, something many people lost while you slept. Another sunrise, another heartbeat, another day. Let gratitude be the foundation of your choices. Let the awareness of this miracle push you to live fully, to speak boldly, to love deeply, to walk in purpose. Because if life has trusted you with another day, then you have everything you need to make it count. Most people move through life unaware of the true weight their decisions carry. Every thought, every action, every word you speak is like a seed dropped into the soil of your future. Some grow into flowers, others into weeds, but all of them take root. What you chose yesterday built the ground you are standing on right now, and what you choose today will build the ground you'll walk tomorrow. The tragedy is that many of us pretend our choices don't matter. We convince ourselves that skipping the small disciplines, ignoring our inner voice, or settling for mediocrity won't have an impact. Yet in time, those very choices shape the story of our lives. When you woke up this morning, you weren't just given another day. You were entrusted with another chance to choose differently. Think about how easily people surrender to autopilot. They wake up, drag themselves through the same routines, complain about the same problems, then wonder why nothing changes. But life is not a machine that runs without input. It's a canvas, waiting for you to paint with your decisions. When you decide to stay silent when you should speak, that becomes part of your painting. When you decide to quit when persistence was possible, that too becomes part of your story. When you decide to act with courage, to forgive, to learn, to rise, you shift the entire design of your future. Choices are not small, they are everything. Every giant leap starts with the smallest step, and every downfall begins with a moment ignored. It is easy to blame circumstances, to point fingers at bad luck, at what people did to us, at the system, at the timing. But the truth is, while you cannot control everything, you can always control something. You cannot control the storm, but you can decide whether to stand, to bend, or to break. You cannot control how others treat you, but you can decide whether to let their poison seep into your spirit. You cannot control the cards you were dealt, but you can decide how to play them. Life is not just what happens to you, it is what you choose to do with what happens. That is the difference between those who rise and those who stay stuck. When you woke up today, you received another opportunity to reclaim your power. Maybe yesterday you gave it away, by letting fear silence you, by letting distraction steal your time, by letting comfort seduce you into postponing your dreams. But today does not have to be a copy of yesterday. Today, you can choose discipline over excuses. Today, you can choose growth over comfort. Today, you can choose persistence over surrender. The most dangerous lie you can believe is that your choices don't matter. They matter more than anything. They create ripples that not only shape your life, but touch the lives of those around you. Consider how one decision can alter the course of everything. A single yes to an opportunity can transform your destiny. A single no to a toxic influence can free you from years of pain. A single choice to forgive can heal generations. And yet, most people underestimate themselves, thinking their decisions are too small to matter. But history is built on choices, some seen, some hidden. The person who chooses to rise each morning with discipline writes a story of victory. The one who chooses laziness writes a story of regret. Both are authors, but their books end very differently. Sometimes the hardest choices are the quiet ones no one applauds. Waking up early to work on your craft, saying no to short-term pleasures, walking away from people who drain your spirit. No one may notice, but your future will. Every choice is a seed, and time is the soil that reveals what you planted. If you want a future of strength, you cannot plant weakness today. If you want a future of peace, you cannot plant chaos now. If you want a future of abundance, you cannot plant scarcity in your thoughts and actions. Life does not give you the harvest you wish for. It gives you the harvest of what you chose to plant. You are not powerless. Even if you've made mistakes, even if you've wasted years, even if your past feels heavy, today offers you a choice. You can let yesterday define you, or you can let it teach you. You can stay chained to regret, or you can use it as fuel for discipline. Every failure is simply proof that you had the courage to try, and today you have another chance to try again, wiser than before. The most dangerous choice is not failure. It's refusing to choose at all, drifting through life as though you have endless chances when you do not. Life whispers opportunities into your path every day. Some are loud and obvious, but most are subtle. A conversation you could start, a risk you could take, a step you could make. They are easy to dismiss, easy to postpone, but that is how destiny slips away quietly. You don't lose your future in one catastrophic moment. You lose it in the small neglected choices, in the times you look away when you should have looked closer, in the days you sleepwalked when you should have awakened. The good news is that the reverse is also true. You don't build greatness in one dramatic instant. You build it in the quiet choices repeated daily, choosing to learn instead of scrolling aimlessly, choosing to practice instead of procrastinate, choosing to discipline your mind instead of letting it wander, choosing to love instead of harden your heart. Those choices stack into character, and character shapes destiny. Every morning you wake up, you hold that power again. So ask yourself, what will you choose today? Will you choose to let fear decide for you, or will you choose courage? Will you choose to let your past dictate your steps, or will you choose to write a new script? Will you choose to numb yourself with distraction, or will you choose to engage fully with life? Each answer carries weight, whether you feel it now or not. And when tomorrow arrives, you will live in the house built by today's choices. Do not treat your choices as insignificant. They are not. They are the architects of your life. With every decision, you are either building a prison or building freedom, either digging deeper into regret or climbing higher into purpose. The miracle of waking up today was not just that your heart kept beating. It was that life gave you another chance to decide what story you will live. Use it wisely, because in the end, your life is not shaped by chance, but by choice. The truth about greatness is that it does not arrive in a sudden burst of brilliance, nor does it fall into your lap like a gift from the heavens. It is built in the shadows, when no one is watching, in the quiet hours when your mind tells you to quit, but your spirit whispers to keep going. Most people crave the spotlight, but few are willing to endure the darkness it takes to earn it. Greatness is not a reward, it is a consequence, the inevitable result of persistence, discipline, and faith in the face of doubt. Look at the lives of those who changed history. Their stories are not made of easy victories. They are made of repeated failures that became stepping stones. Edison did not create the light bulb in one attempt. He walked through thousands of failures. Mandela did not inspire nations after one speech. He endured decades of prison before his words shook the world. These men did not possess superhuman strength. They possessed an unshakable commitment to their vision. They chose to rise when everything around them told them to fall. The danger is that people only see the outcome and mistake it for luck. They see the successful business, the masterpiece, the inspiring leader, and they think they were born with it. They had opportunities I didn't. They had something special. What they don't see are the countless nights of self-doubt, the mornings of exhaustion, the sacrifices no one applauded. Greatness has a price, and those unwilling to pay it convince themselves it must be unattainable. But the truth is that greatness is not denied to anyone. It is just that few are willing to endure the cost of pursuit. Your mind will always whisper lies. It will tell you that you're not good enough, that it's too late, that you should settle for comfort, that the mountain is too high. And if you listen, if you surrender to that voice, you will live small, safe, unnoticed. But if you defy it, if you choose to act when fear tells you not to, if you rise when failure tries to pin you down, you begin to carve greatness into your very being. The path is not easy, but it is simple. Decide, commit, persist. Repeat, there will be seasons when progress feels invisible, when your effort seems to vanish into nothing, when you wonder if the sacrifice is worth it. That is when most people walk away. They think the silence means failure, but silence is simply the space where transformation happens. Seeds buried in soil do not sprout overnight, yet they push through the darkness until light arrives. So it is with your dreams. The fact that you cannot yet see the results does not mean your labor is wasted. It means you are still underground, gathering the strength to break through. The tragedy is that people stop digging just before they strike gold. They quit the gym weeks before the body begins to change. They abandon the dream months before the opportunity arrives. They let go of their vision the moment it becomes uncomfortable, never realizing that discomfort was the very doorway to greatness. You cannot rise without weight pressing against you, and you cannot build strength without resistance. Greatness requires struggle, not because the struggle defines you, but because it reveals what is already within you. What separates the extraordinary from the ordinary is not talent, not luck, not circumstances, but resilience. The extraordinary keep showing up. They keep choosing the harder path, the disciplined choice, the courageous step. They don't let temporary defeat become permanent failure. They understand that pain is not a signal to stop. It is a signal that you are stretching into a higher version of yourself. Every trial, every setback, every challenge is shaping you into someone capable of carrying the weight of greatness. But this truth is uncomfortable, and so people look for shortcuts. They want success without sweat, achievement without sacrifice, recognition without resilience. They chase quick wins, cheap tricks, and hollow applause, only to discover that none of it lasts. Real greatness cannot be borrowed, faked, or handed down. It must be earned in the unseen hours, when it's just you, your doubts, and your decision to keep moving forward anyway. So, when you find yourself tired, when you feel invisible, when your efforts seem pointless, remember this. You are in the exact place where greatness is forged. Every rep you push when no one is watching, every page you write when no one cares, every early morning you choose discipline over comfort. You are stacking bricks of a foundation that will one day hold something extraordinary. The world may not see it yet, but your persistence is writing a future that will demand their attention. And one day, when you stand in the light of your achievement, when people call you lucky, when they admire your success, you will know the truth. It was never luck, it was never chance, it was the quiet choices, the daily disciplines, the refusal to surrender when quitting was easier. That is what built your greatness, and though the world will only see the outcome, you will carry the secret. That true greatness was never about the result. It was about who you became in the process. Every day you wake up, you stand at the entrance of a battlefield, but the battle is not against the world. It is against yourself. The clock begins to tick the moment your eyes open, and how you choose to use those hours determines whether you drift or whether you rise. Life is not waiting to hand you opportunities. It is daring you to seize them. Too many people waste their mornings scrolling through distractions, wasting precious time on complaints, comparing themselves to others, and feeding the very doubts that keep them stuck. But every sunrise whispers the same message. Today is yours, if only you have the courage to claim it. Time is the one resource that cannot be reclaimed. Money can be lost and made again. Relationships can break and heal. Failures can be rebuilt into victories. But every second wasted is gone forever. This is why winners treat their days like gold. They do not wait for motivation to arrive. They create momentum by moving, by doing, by choosing discipline over delay. They understand that each small decision builds into habits, and habits create destiny. It's not the grand gestures that shape a life, but the quiet, consistent choices made in the ordinary moments. Some people believe they will act someday. Someday they will chase that dream. Someday they will write that book. Someday they will build that business, start that journey, live with purpose. But someday is a lie. Someday is the comfortable excuse the mind uses to avoid the discomfort of today. And the truth is, most people die with their dreams buried inside them because they waited for perfect timing that never arrived. The successful are not the ones who waited. They are the ones who started imperfectly, fearfully, clumsily, but they started. Do not underestimate the power of starting now. When you act today, you send a signal to your future self that you are serious about the life you want to create. You cannot build tomorrow if you refuse to move today. Every excuse pushes the finish line further away, but every act of discipline pulls it closer. You must decide, will you live as a victim of time or will you live as its master? The truth is, the most successful people are not the most talented. They are the most intentional. They wake up with clarity, they guard their energy, they refuse to let distractions consume them. They do not allow toxic voices, negative environments, or petty battles to steal their focus. They understand that peace is not just the absence of chaos. It is a weapon, a shield against wasted energy. Protecting your peace is not selfish, it is survival. You cannot build your vision if you are constantly drained by battles that do not matter. Every room you walk into, you bring an energy that either lifts or drains. People will forget your words, they will forget your actions, but they will never forget how your presence made them feel. And that presence, that aura, is built on how you manage yourself when no one is watching. If you carry resentment, bitterness, and chaos inside, that is what the world will feel from you. But if you cultivate peace, focus, and strength, your presence becomes power. Think about it. The legacy you leave is not written in some far-off future. It is written in the choices you make today. The way you treat people, the way you use your time, the way you chase your vision. Every today, stacked together, creates your tomorrow. If you want a different life in the future, you must live differently now. Stop saying someday, say today. Start where you are with what you have and keep building. The world is filled with distractions designed to keep you average. Social media will tempt you to compare your beginning to someone else's highlight reel. Society will push you to settle for comfort over calling. People around you may laugh at your ambition, discourage your dreams, or call you unrealistic, but they do not control your destiny. You do. The most dangerous thing you can do is hand over your time to people who don't value it. Guard it, protect it. Invest it in what builds you, not what breaks you. There will be days when it feels easier to quit, when your progress seems invisible, when your effort feels unnoticed. But remember, the invisible days are the foundation. The small wins, the quiet effort, the sacrifices nobody claps for, those are the moments that separate the average from the exceptional. You are building brick by brick, and though the wall may not yet be visible, every brick counts. At the end of the day, you are left with a choice. Will you let another day slip away, lost to distraction and delay, or will you own it? Today does not have to be perfect. It just has to be purposeful. You don't need to conquer the entire mountain. You just need to take the next step. Consistency is the currency of greatness, and today is your chance to pay in full. So wake up, speak life into yourself, and take action. Choose focus over distraction, growth over comfort, progress over excuses. Don't wait for the right moment. You create the right moment by deciding this one is enough. Today is not practice. Today is not a rehearsal. Today is the stage, the opportunity, the moment. Own it fully, because tomorrow is not promised, but today is yours.